Hello and welcome viewers. Let's dive straight into the top stories at this hour on Superfast 50. In a deeply worrying development early in the morning in Afghanistan, the Gurdwara Karte Parwan in Kabul was attacked by terrorists. 3 blasts were reported from inside and around the premises of the Gurdwara, and while specific details are still sketchy, it apparently quickly developed into a hostage situation. Republic TV has accessed the first visuals of the attack inside the Kabul Gurdwara, where one can see shattered glass and the pell-mell of rampant destruction and damage to the Gurdwara. At least 2 people have been killed, including a Delhi-based Sikh man and the security guard in the Gurdwara attack in Kabul. Later, members of the Sikh community were seen taking the holy Guru Granth Sahib out of the Gurdwara at enormous personal risk to their own safety. According to reports, an ISIS hand in the Kabul Gurdwara attack has been confirmed. The Interior Minister of Afghanistan's Taliban government issued a partially pious statement during the fighting that did very little to reassure worried Indians. All the terrorists that attacked Gurdwara Karte Parwan Sahib have been neutralized by Afghan soldiers. However, as per the latest information, according to the latest reports, the Gurdwara Sahib now under the Afghanistan police's control, but factors that cause this incident are as yet unclear. Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann has condemned the attack on Gurdwara Karte Parwan in Kabul. He urged the central government to provide immediate assistance to ensure the safety of minorities in Afghanistan. The Ministry of External Affairs has said that they are deeply concerned about the reports emanating from Kabul about an attack on a sacred Gurdwara in that city and are monitoring the situation. Condemning the terror attack, External Affairs Minister of India Dr. S. JAISHANKAR said that the cowardly attack on Gurdwara Karte Parwan should be condemned in the strongest terms by all. He said that the government's first and foremost concern is for the welfare of the community. In a critical development to do with the Agnipath scheme, Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh has approved a proposal to reserve 10% of job vacancies in the Ministry of Defence for Agniveers. The 10% reservation will be implemented in the Indian Coast Guard and Defence civilian posts and all of the 16 defence sector public sector undertakings. Necessary amendments to relevant recruitment rules will be undertaken to implement the 10% reservation in Defence Ministry and affiliated jobs for Agniveers. Defence PSUs, all 16 of them, will be advised to make similar amendments to their respective recruitment rules. The necessary age relaxation provision will also be made in this regard, is what the Raksha Mantri has been saying. In another big follow-up to the Agnipath announcement, the Ministry of Home Affairs has also decided to reserve 10% vacancies for Agniveers for recruitment in the CAPF paramilitary forces as well as the Assam Rifles. The MHA has also directed to extend the age limit of paramilitary forces recruitment for the first batch beyond the prescribed upper age limit for Agniveers benefits. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh held an hour-long meeting with Navy Chief Admiral R. Harikumar and Indian Air Force Chief Air Chief Marshal Vivek Ram Chaudhary, along with Vice Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General B.S. Raju in the national capital on the Agnipath recruitment scheme. Discussions were held on the implementation of the scheme and its expedited rollout. The Telangana police has arrested more than 100 protesters accused of involvement in arson at Secunderabad railway station yesterday. According to sources, special teams were formed to nab the accused and a search operation was underway. An FIR has been registered by the railway police against the protesters who torched multiple vehicles. CCTV visuals have emerged from Ludhiana railway station in Punjab now, where around 50 to 60 protesters could be seen with rods vandalizing the station for no apparent reason. There were no Agnipath protests in Punjab till this point, and even here too there was no protest, only vandalism. Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann has demanded that the centre roll back the Agnipath scheme, claiming that there is anger among the youth. Not really getting into any nitty-gritties, he said that those who want to work for the country with passion should be given the chance and be given a pension later on.
और 21 साल में रिटायर होके आ जाइए, भूतपूर्व सैनिक बन जाइए 21 साल में, तो ये तो ठीक नहीं है।
In Karnataka, around 100 people protested at the old SP circle in Dharwad over the Agnipath scheme. After a stone pelting incident was reported, the police resorted to LATHICHARGE. According to the police, 20 people have been taken into custody in this matter. In Jammu and Kashmir, the Youth Congress continued sloganeering against the Agnipath scheme near the Jammu Press Club. Taking to the streets, they demanded a rollback of the Agnipath scheme on the very lucid and thought-through argument that it is a jumla.
Agnipath rollback! 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 Agnipath rollback! Agnipath rollback! Agnipath rollback! BJP murdabad! Murdabad! Murdabad!
The Bihar police has arrested 300 people and has registered 90 FIRs against the protesters who torched trains with abandon in their protest against the Agnipath scheme in Bihar. The arrests have seemingly had the effect of warding off the All India Students Union, that is the left's ISA Students Union, from protesting today. Patna DM Chandrasekhar Singh has stated that protesters are being identified through video footage and have purportedly unearthed the role of 7 to 8 coaching centers in spreading misinformation and provocative messages.
फायरिंग हुई है क्या?
लगभग 1,500 की संख्या में लोग थे जो घेर लिए थे मसूरी तरगना रेलवे स्टेशन को, और जीआरपी थाना में कुछ गाड़ियां थी पुरानी, उसमें आग लगा दिए थे।
कुछ पब्लिक का भी गाड़ी
और कुछ निजी वाहनों में भी आगजनी किए थे। तो उन सभी लोगों को खदेड़ दिया गया है और पूरी तरह से अपने कब्जे हम लोग रेलवे स्टेशन पर लिए हैं। 30 लोगों को अभी तक अरेस्ट हम लोगों ने किया है। बाकी आसपास के घरों में लोग छुपे हुए हैं, कुछ भाग गए हैं, कुछ छुपे हुए हैं, उनका सर्च करके हम लोग अरेस्टिंग कर रहे हैं और इसमें कड़ी कार्रवाई हम लोग करेंगे। बहुत सारा वीडियो फुटेज हम लोगों के पास है, चिन्हित कर रहे हैं उसके आधार पर।
It has turned out that the incidents of vandalism at railway premises across Bihar have led to losses of over 200 crore rupees. The protesters burnt at least 50 coaches and 5 railway engines amid their violent demonstrations yesterday in Bihar. Pakistan's energy crisis has hit Karachi now, wherein the broke Shehbaz Sharif government is directing all shopping malls, markets, restaurants to close down early to save fuel and energy. This is as Pakistan remains in the FATF's grey list. A combined graduation parade was held at the Air Force Academy in Dundigal, Telangana, where General Manoj Pandey, the Chief of the Army Staff, was the chief guest and the reviewing officer of the parade. Speaking at the graduation parade held at the Air Force Academy in Dundigal, Chief of the Army Staff General Manoj Pandey said that transformational reforms in the Indian Army are currently underway. He said that India's security canvas requires a high level of operational preparedness.
Transformational reforms underway in the armed forces, in the human resource management and other domains such as capability development, with focus on Atmanirbharta.
Thousands of Kerala Youth Congress workers have demanded the resignation of Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan over the alleged links in the gold smuggling case. They were holding a protest outside the secretariat in Thiruvananthapuram. After accused Swapna Suresh's revelations, Kerala Congress says there is no reason why the Chief Minister should continue in office.
Police atrocity. Just clear case of police atrocity. A chief minister who cannot face the questions from the media, who cannot answer the public, who is running away from public. He is using the force to ensure that there is no protest against him.
The Kerala police has resorted to lathi charge and tear gas shelling to disperse the Congress workers as the situation quickly spiraled out of control in Thiruvananthapuram. Heavy rainfall threw normal life out of gear in Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir. A flash flood-like situation was also seen in the Alapir area of Poonch Mandi. Lakhs of people thronged streets to witness Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mega roadshow in Vadodara and Gujarat, where he delivered a speech during which he expressed his profuse gratitude to the people of the state who welcome him back with lots of love every time. Attending the Gujarat Gaurav Abhiyan in Gujarat cultural capital Vadodara, Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation stone or inaugurated various development projects worth a total of 21,000 crore rupees. Addressing the people of Vadodara, Prime Minister Modi stated that the double-engine government is working for women's empowerment for the past 8 years. He said that various schemes were framed for women at every stage to empower them. So far, 98 lakh women are benefiting from these schemes.
बीते 8 साल से डबल इंजन की सरकार नारी शक्ति को भारत के सामर्थ्य की धुरी बनाने के लिए जो प्रयास कर रही है, आज गुजरात में मां कालिका के आशीर्वाद से उनको नई ताकत मिली है.
Addressing the people of Vadodara at the massive rally, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced that around 2 lakh families would get PUCCA homes under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, including houses worth around 1,800 crore in urban areas and houses worth over 1,530 crore rupees in rural areas. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is on a 2-day visit to his home state Gujarat, met with his mother Hiraben Modi at her residence in Gandhinagar on her birthday as she enters her 100th year and sought her blessings. He wrote a very moving blog post dedicated to her, which viewers you must read on republicworld.com. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the redeveloped Kalika Mata temple atop the Pavagadh hill in Panchmahal district and offered prayers there. Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel was also present with the Prime Minister. Addressing a program at the Pavagadh hill, Prime Minister Modi said that today the spiritual and cultural glory of India is being restored. He said that he was proud of the fact that a new India is living its ancient identity along with modern aspirations.
आज मुझे पावागढ़ में मां काली के भक्तों के लिए अनेक आधुनिक सुविधाएं अर्पित करने का अवसर मिला. मैंने मां से देशवासियों की सुख शांति और समृद्धि की कामना की और आजादी के अमृत काल में स्वर्णिम भारत के संकल्प की सिद्धि का मां से आशीर्वाद मांगा.
A police officer was shot dead in cold blood by terrorists in the Pampore area of Pulwama in the intervening night of Friday and Saturday. The bullet-ridden body of Farooq Ahmad Mir was found lying in a canal in the paddy fields in Sambura. The police recovered 2 empty cartridges of pistol rounds from the spot. A wreath-laying ceremony was held in Avantipura for the deceased cop. India and Bangladesh will be holding the 7th meeting of the Joint Consultative Commission in New Delhi tomorrow. The Ministry of External Affairs said that the commission will be co-chaired by External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. S. JAISHANKAR, and Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen. The Rouse Avenue Court in Delhi has rejected the bail application of jailed Aam Aadmi Party Minister Satyendar Jain in connection with the money laundering case being investigated by the Enforcement Directorate. India has reported 13,216 new COVID cases, 8,148 recoveries and 23 deaths in the last 24 hours. While the number of active cases stood at 68,108, the daily positivity rate now stands at 2.73%. Ahead of the International Day of Yoga on June the 21st, Union Ministers Meenakshi Lekhi, Arjunram Meghwal and a number of foreign delegates participated in a yoga session in the national capital. India and the European Union resumed negotiations for a comprehensive free trade agreement in Brussels, Belgium, after a gap of nearly 9 years. The talks were kick-started by India's Trade Minister Piyush Goyal and his European Union counterpart Valdis Dombrovskis. The EU team will visit New Delhi now for the next round of the free trade agreement talks during June the 27th, that is, and July the 1st.
It's very natural that the European Union and India come together to expand our friendship, our trust in terms of a very ambitious and comprehensive trade agreement, in terms of a forward-looking investment protection agreement, and also greater partnership on geographical indicators.
Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal inaugurated a mango festival organized in Brussels in Belgium to create awareness amongst Europeans and to create a market for Indian mangoes in Europe. He said that the event showcased a wide variety of mangoes from across India, and people across the globe will be able to relish the sweetness of Indian mangoes, which are a whole lot better than the South American and African mangoes that currently dominate the European supermarkets.
I will say that ये पहली बार हुआ है कि यहाँ पर बेल्जियम में जो यूरोप का कैपिटल है, जहाँ यूरोपियन यूनियन की सारी संस्थाएं यहाँ पे हैं, वहाँ पहली बार मैंगो टेस्टिंग का हमने कार्यक्रम रखा है और हमारे लिए बहुत ही हम काफ़ी फॉर्चुनेट फील करते हैं क्योंकि आज कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री मिनिस्टर श्री पीयूष गोयल जी भी यहाँ आए और उन्होंने उसको इनॉग्रेट किया फॉर्मली.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky welcomed the European Union's move to put his country on a path to taking up its membership. The European Union's executive arm made the recommendation a symbolic boost for the country that is fending off a Russian onslaught that is killing civilians, flattening cities, and threatening its very survival. United Nations Refugee Agency's Deputy High Commissioner Kelly Clements visited Afghanistan in an effort to highlight difficulties being faced by women, children's education, and other humanitarian issues. Speaking in Herat, Clements said that the international community needs to support initiatives that would help refugees and returnees in Afghanistan. A Russian-owned super yacht seized by the United States arrived in Honolulu Harbor in Hawaii flying an American flag. The ship became a target of task force launched in March to seize the assets of Russian oligarchs to put pressure on Russia to end the war in Ukraine. Protesters and police clashed in Senegal's Dakar city after an opposition demonstration was banned by the authorities. Police officers blocked the area around the house of Ousmane Sonko, one of the leaders of the country's opposition, not allowing him to even leave for Friday prayers. Bosnia has conveyed to Russia that it will not impose sanctions against the country. The Serb member of the presidency of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Milorad Dodik, conveyed Bosnia's stand to Russian leader Vladimir Putin at the annual International Economic Forum in St. Petersburg. The Russian president expressed hope that relations between Russia and Bosnia and Herzegovina will develop in spite of current difficulties. Second seed Maria Sakkari booked her place in the semi-finals of the Berlin Open with a commanding win over Daya Kasatkina. It's a first semi-final on grass for the Greek world number 6, who reached the semi-finals of both the French Open and the US Open in 2021. Rafael Nadal has confirmed that he intends to play at Wimbledon despite concerns about an ongoing foot injury. Nadal revealed his plans at a press conference in Mallorca. The Spanish former world number 1 won the French Open for the 14th time earlier this month with injections used to numb the chronic pain in his foot, and said that he would not play at Wimbledon if he was going to have to do the same thing again. But he is optimistic after having treatment to reduce the nerve pain following his win at Roland Garros. David Beckham returned to Singapore for a promotional tour and spoke to a group of fans and media on the road to the World Cup in Qatar. Beckham took a trip down memory lane where he recollected his best and worst days from his career, and he picked out his former Manchester United manager Sir Alex Ferguson for looking after him both on and off the field. The torch relay for the 44th Chess Olympiad, which will be held in India from July 28 to August the 10th, will be launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This is the first time in the history of the Chess Olympiad that an Olympic-style torch relay will be introduced. The Prime Minister will begin the historic torch relay at New Delhi's Indira Gandhi Stadium. England broke its own world record to register the highest ever innings total in a one-day international match. During the first match of its three-match series against the Netherlands, England smashed 498 runs for the loss of just 4 wickets while batting in the first innings of the game, breaking their own record from 2018 when they had hit Australia for 481 runs.